Hi.
Welcome to Next Chapter Women. She Blooms in Solitude, the four-part series, Reflections from the Middle, where life isn't falling apart, but it's asking something new of you. This week's theme is Radiate, honoring yourself through nervous system awareness, space, and authenticity. There's a moment when you realize that you've changed and maybe something in your life hasn't quite caught up yet as you're changing. And so, over the last few weeks, we've explored what it looks like to release what no longer fits. We talked about renewing our relationship with ourselves and our perspective of ourselves at this time of life, and rising even when life isn't ideal. Today, we're closing the series with, again, our final theme, Radiate, and we're exploring how radiating isn't about necessarily being calm, healed, or at peace all the time, but about honoring yourself through what your nervous system is experiencing, especially when something no longer feels aligned. So, hi and welcome, Maureen.
Hi. I have a lot to offer to this conversation
Woohoo!
today. Thank you, Jess. This is
Yeah.
awesome. We're ending the series with a bang. So let's talk about how Radiate fits into this, session we're going to talk about today. I have been having a lot of resistance over the past few years with a relationship that I have been in. And a lot of parts of it are good, but there's a big part of it that's not suiting me. And instead of really, really listening to me inside, my soul is screaming at me, and because my nervous system, all this stuff's going on inside of it. I have anxiety, I had a rock in my back, but I'm resisting it and I'm continuing on this relationship. But with all my inner work and all my Reiki and all this stuff that's going on right now with this journey, I have come to a decision this week that I am letting it go for good. So I'm releasing what I've been doing for the past 7 years, and I'm going to change it this time. I'm going to change my patterns. I am going to actually cut off the whole relationship, not talk, just let it go and start being with me. And I operate a lot on always having somebody in my life. And I'm realizing that I need me now more than anything. So this anxiety has heightened over the past couple of months as we were coming to this episode. And I'm realizing that this is a chapter of my life that I have to shut for good in order for my growth to start to continue. So with that,
Now,
here we
mind
are.
you, now, mind you, this isn't some realization that just dawned on you in the last couple weeks. You've kind of gone in and out of over the last like few years. I've watched you grapple with this situation and these feelings for a long time, for a long time.
Yes, yes, a long, long time. But until I'm realizing I'm reaching a higher consciousness in my body, I'm feeling it every day. Different things are happening. Uh, Miraculous things are happening, and my realization is becoming stronger of what is working for me. So instead of stuffing it down and putting on a pretty face, I want to practice what I'm preaching. So I have to live that for myself if I want to help others, and I'm doing that, and I feel really good about where I am. And yeah, in the middle of it, is it hard because I'm getting over a relationship? There's emotions involved, but I felt a weight lifted when I finally made a decision. And it feels really, really good inside because I am worth to be in love with myself again. And as long as that resistance in that relationship was there, I can't do that. I can't rebuild a relationship with myself as long as I have that holding me down.
And so today we're really trying to look at this this situation through the lens of the nervous system. And so experiences like this, it's not something that only happens in romantic relationships. It can happen in friendships. It can happen in family dynamics. It can happen in work environments. I mean, if you've listened to any of our other episodes or podcasts, you've heard us talk about things being off, things not feeling right. And what we really want to harness today and get have a message come across that we're talking about that stuff that's not feeling right, it ties to your nervous system. It is your nervous system because your nervous system responds not just to physical stress, okay, to tone, to patterns, to expectations, to emotional dynamics. And yeah, so
Yeah. So, I mean, just taking everything, I like to practice what I preach, but I'm human. And sometimes you can talk about it and not really honor what you're feeling inside. And I feel like I'm finally honoring what has been screaming at me, what my soul has been asking me to release. I'm honoring that. So that makes me feel really good. And that makes my body feel really good. I've realized like I less anxiety over the past couple of days. And that's a big thing in my life that I've been carrying. I definitely think attributes to midlife, but I also know that I've been carrying this burden that I've been wanting to release.
and
And
that
I'm seeing how that has helped with this decision that I've made. So,
sorry. And that's a big part of what like I want to talk about today too is how this might show up for people. Because in this situation and in other situations, you might feel perfectly fine. Let's just take this for instance, where you're in a relationship. You might not feel unsafe. You might feel perfectly, you're safe. You know the person's a good, they're not toxic. Okay. There's nothing, like there's not abuse. There's not, but something's activated and something's off. And for you, like I watched you go, okay, let me reflect on I've grown so much because this is really the essence of what we're talking about is that you had all this growth and then looked back and said, you know what, this other thing, this relationship, it's not growing with me. It's not evolving. It's not changing. It's staying in this same place. And I don't like how that feels.
no, and it doesn't feel right. And I mean, he came over the other night and I hadn't seen this person in 2.5 weeks. And I was angry. It's like, Maureen, why are you angry? You haven't seen him. And it because my consciousness was saying, because it's wrong, Maureen. Like, you know where this is going, and you just have to be honest now with him and yourself. And I literally told him the night he was over, I'm outgrowing this relationship. I'm outgrowing this relationship and I need to let it go. And he'll stay with me because I'm here and I we have a pretty we have a pretty good relationship, but there's other things on his end that wasn't honoring what I was feeling inside about it. And
Right.
that was really, really hurting my nervous system.
And you got tired of talking about it. You got
Yes.
tired of bringing it up. It's not like you just went la da 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 da. Like these are things that you continued to bring up over the years and say, "Listen, this bothers me. This bothers me." And you grappled with this, and it it weighed you down. And
It
you
was an
see that
anger.
as you've grown, you start to realize more than ever the things that are weighing you down.
Right. And I think it took two for us to start growing our business and have our podcast and us really working on ourselves, especially with the program we were in to help us build, like really pointing the finger back at ourselves and say, hey, what in our lives is affecting our nervous system that we have to address that is holding us back? Because I now realize by releasing this, I'm only going to make space for something bigger and better to come into my life. And I've already seen it in the past couple of days. I've seen a lot of really great things happening already that are unfolding.
Yeah.
And it's pretty miraculous, right,
And
Jess?
I want to hear more about that. And but before we talk about that, because that's the really good stuff. Like that's the all the really beautiful, it just you deserve to feel that way. Whoever the people listening, you deserve to feel that way too. And internal conflict and these things we're talking about, yes, they're common for any demographic and any age, but we in midlife kind of feel like this is incredibly common right now. And before we go into like all this like great stuff you're feeling now, I want to talk about costs of staying in situations that aren't aligning with you and are taking a toll on your nervous system. You know,
Mhm.
some things may be like a cost of, if you're, it's the cost isn't that your nervous system becomes dysregulated, okay? That's human. So I don't want to seem like I'm shaming or saying like there's something wrong with you if your nervous system is dysregulated. That's not the issue. The issue, the cost is what happens when you're not listening to it. Okay. And sometimes those aren't conscious choices, they're adaptations, ways that the nervous system is trying to maintain connection and stability. So I don't know if any of that resonates with you, but
Yeah, of course, it all resonates with me. And yes, I mean, yes, I feel really good inside now, but for many years, this resistance that I have in this relationship has held me back and has caused me to feel down and out and angry and, disrupt my nervous system, like causing a lot of tension in my back, my body contracting, holding all this pain. And then, you don't realize that is what's doing it until you start to understand the dynamic of everything that we're talking about and
and
listening to that internal stuff,
and
you
what
know?
about that place where you get used to something and something feels safe, and sometimes the connection, in this case a relationship, might feel safer than honesty when the body like senses instability, like just being in that something that's comfortable, and how that makes you feel good
Mhm.
inside, but like you got to a point where it's just like I can't go
Yeah.
on. I can't go on like But the problem with that is that if you stay in that, you start to really erode your own emotional self trust.
Yes, and it goes back to that whole trust thing. If I don't trust myself, then how do I trust anything or anybody in my life? I have to trust what is being brought to me for my highest good. Trust, Maureen, trust. And I'm inviting a lot of trust into my life these days with the things that I want to fill my life with: trust, abundance, joy, purpose. I'm inviting that into my heart. And as I'm inviting that in, I'm also saying, what do I want to release too? What do I not want in my life, which is fear, anxiety, So I breathe in everything I said and then I breathe out all the bad. And that has been helping me regularly. And I feel it unfolding. But when you get comfortable in a relationship, before I started to go through all these things, it's easy to stay in it because it's comfortable. But if you don't change something, you're not going to get a different result. And so I know in my heart, I know it wasn't serving me well because it was dysregulating my nervous system.
Well, it's a very bold and powerful thing that you're doing to choose yourself. It's huge. And, I don't know. I just, as I'm listening to you talk, and I'm also thinking about similar things, that can dysregulate the nervous system. I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like sometimes when we're back to eroding emotional self trust is like seeking permission for our feelings. Did you ever find during the course of this that maybe sometimes like over explaining or justifying like with yourself or maybe others of like staying in it? Because what happens with that is it does teach our nervous system that our own boundaries have to be earned instead of respected.
Mm.
And so I don't know. I don't know if that's something that you feel like in this particular situation you grappled with at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think I've realized it, Jess.
No.
Like you just do the same thing every day. But I realize I'm crying a lot. I'm crying, like I am crying so much. I'm releasing so much internal stuff that I've been resisting for so long that it's just coming out and coming out. And I'm addressing it now. right? I mean, we're both going through this, Jess. We're
Yeah.
in different ways. We're both releasing a lot of emotional weight or heaviness of things that are, that have pulled us back, and we're staying strong, but we're releasing it, and we have to let it go. Crying is the best way to release something. If you feel the need to cry, cry it out.
I
It really
know.
helps with anxiety too.
Yeah, and I mean, the stuff that I've been going through is like we talk
Yeah,
about this a lot, is that my personal choice over the last 6 years to be single, to be by
right.
myself. And as much as I love that and I don't want to give it up, and as great as it feels, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, and there's times where, the outside, those distractions and that noise. I was telling you about that when I heard on the radio the other day about that conversation of where someone was like, if you are alone at the Super Bowl, or you're not at a party, or it's New Year's Eve and you're alone, you really need to reassess where you are in life. And it's like, okay, according to you. And they open this dialogue up about how, oh, don't you feel sorry for that person? Like, maybe there's just, they don't have anyone, or they're so alone. What about the people that solitude feels good?
Good.
I'm not lonely. I'm choosing this. I like my own company. As weird as that might sound to some people, it feels pretty darn good, but it took time to get to that point of feeling comfortable and learning to like and then love who I am and feel great in my own company.
And, with us, as, best friends and business partners, I have gotten to see you be alone but not lonely, and that has helped me come to finally this realization. I'm ready to fall in love with myself again, just like you. I love being in solitude and I don't feel lonely. I'm choosing it too. But just like, Jess is, been by herself without a man, and wow, what a great example. And I can't remember the last time I was alone without somebody in the wings. And I said, I'm ready for me now. I'm ready for me. I'm finally ready for this. And it's my choice and I'm choosing that. Everybody, can make their own choices for themselves. You might be looking at this and saying, oh, they're crazy. What? They want to be alone? When you're comfortable with yourself and you can fill it with all the joys that you want to bring to yourself, and not have anybody distract you, you're doing exactly what you want to do in your moments with just you. And what can get better than that?
Yeah, and the thing of it is, if you think of it this way, and I've said this to you before, that I spent over 2.5 decades always living to make someone else happy. And my happiness was contingent upon their happiness. And it always came back to me. It always came back to, am I doing enough? Did I do this right? How can I make him happy? It was never, ever about me and what made me feel happy. And so, if 5 or 6 years is a fraction of the time, I've only
Right.
spent 5 or 6 years saying, you know what? I'm prioritizing that. That's what I'm
Right.
doing.
Right. And you have to. And we can't make people happy. We spend so many moments of our life trying to make people happy, and we can't do it. The only people we can make happy is ourselves. So let's make ourselves the first priority, right? I mean, because you can't please everybody all of the time. You can only please some of the people some of the time. But ultimately, we make our own selves happy, and we can't do it for anybody else.
And a huge thing, going back to radiating, one message that was really important for me to put out today was to say that, you know, you don't have to be zen and singing kumbaya and just never having an issue to be radiating.
Right.
Okay, it's radiating doesn't mean that you never feel overwhelmed. It means that you don't disappear when you do. So it's that piece of the awareness, like we always talk about, and then saying, okay, I'm going to honor myself. Now I'm radiating. This might not be the best moment. I might not feel great and things might be going on with me, but I'm going to choose me, and choosing me is going to show up X, Y, and Z. And that's how you radiate.
Right. And just to your point, Jess, like I'm in the thick of a breakup right now. I can't control what he's going to do. So I just have to still stay my course. If I want things to continue on a path of me loving me, I can't feed into what's out there or what is, a phone call that's coming in.
Hey,
I don't
listen,
have,
you're live on YouTube, so you're gonna be accountable now. It's out there.
okay, it's out
You
there.
know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
Oh my
bring it
gosh.
on.
I saw this quote the other day, and I wanted to add this to our talk, that radiance isn't sunlight that only shows up on clear days. It's more like a lighthouse, steady in calm waters and visible during the storms. And I really liked that. I thought that was good.
Oh, that is
So,
so good.
just to kind of look back on what we've done during this series, we've released, okay, you just talked about releasing too, not just
Woo.
radiating, both of us, letting go of old coping patterns, renewing that connection with yourself, really, and
Mhm.
reframing how you see yourself at this time of life, rising, choosing movement and honesty and action when it's not always convenient or easy, and then today, radiating, staying self connected in every state, no matter how you're feeling. So, I wanted to
Exactly.
kind of talk about, sometimes we try to offer a little practice or something that people can do, and then you can add on to this, Maureen. But just for anyone watching this week, just practice noticing how you respond to yourself when you're dysregulated. That's it.
Hmm.
Do you rush to calm yourself for others? Are you explaining away your discomfort? Are you allowing yourself space without justifying? Just notice, see what happens.
Yeah. See what impacts you this week and take notice of it. Notice of it and get a journal. Write it down. Write these things down. See and see at the end of the week what comes up for you by doing this. That's great. That's a great idea for us too.
Yeah, for real.
So, yeah.
So, just some reflection questions, that you can also to add on to this, to build onto this. What changes when you treat dysregulation as information and not a problem? So, just reframing and going, this isn't a problem. There's nothing wrong with me. This is information. I'm going to use this to inform what I do next. And where might honoring your nervous system bring more clarity, even if nothing changes immediately? And that's a hard one, because sometimes
Hmm.
you got to sit in
Hmm.
stuff that's uncomfortable. And like we always say, and we're human. We want instant gratification, and not to go through that whole conversation, but
Right.
you know, sometimes you
Yeah.
have to sit with stuff and for a while and it doesn't feel good. So,
And or you ignore it. It keeps
yeah.
coming back around and you keep sitting in it and you keep sitting in it. It's like, well, I'll just stay in it because it's comfortable. This is what I know. And you don't want to address it. And so then there you go. You have the anxiety, the wheels are turning, just everything's keeps creeping up. Things creep up and you just can't get to an answer because maybe you're not allowing the answers to come. It's when, again, we get quiet,
Yeah.
that's when they come. Yeah.
Sometimes you're looking too hard for the answer. I'm guilty of
Mhm.
that. I'm going, why is this happening? Why is this going on? There has to be a reason. What's going on right now? No,
Mhm.
but let's go back to where I said, hold on for a minute with that. The part where you were talking about the transformation, and just in the last few days, how you're feeling right now in your own body and emotionally with this thing that's going on for you.
Uh, like the amazing, I'm looking at myself saying I love you. Today I put on
Oh,
love songs and I didn't relate them to loving somebody else, but I took them back to me loving me. And
yeah.
it makes me emotional because I'm ready to fall in love with myself all over again.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's I don't know. I couldn't have done this or thought about this, 20 years ago, and then 10 years ago I even thought about, like, I wonder what that feels like. Like, I like things about myself, but what would that feel like to fall in love with myself? And it's almost just kind of confronting yourself and saying, like, hey, I'm worth it. I'm worth
Right.
I heard that
Yes.
sound in the back. Somebody's
Yeah.
shaking out a bag in the background.
Yeah. It's okay. We're live. We're not, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But
So just to tie some of this together, this series was never about fixing your life. It was more about noticing what's forming for you at this time. And
Mhm.
radiating isn't about being calm, being certain. It's about staying connected to yourself no matter the weather, being
Right.
true to you.
Be true to yourself. Everything comes from within. As long as you're the things that are showing up for you in here, and they're sitting there, and your truth, then you can know what's true for you, and you can decide and have the answers for what's right for you at the time to honor your core values. And it
Yeah.
doesn't always come immediately, and
Yeah.
sometimes you have to sit with them and work through things. And it's not about it being perfect and, oh, I've regained my core value, this is amazing. Oh, it takes time, and that's going to resurface when you're ready for it
And
to
your values
happen.
are always changing.
Mm-hmm.
The
Right.
stuff that you valued
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, it might be completely different now. You might change
Yeah.
your mind tomorrow and have a different value.
Absolutely.
It's always
Yes.
changing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
if this conversation resonates with you guys at all, we created a gentle guided reflection, called Where You Are Right Now. It's a space to listen and discover what's going on inside of you. And you can find the link in the comments below. So, this was it. I really enjoyed doing this whole series together with you. It was
Yeah.
awesome. And I hope
It
that one person, if there's one person out there that was able to take anything or that this helped, or even if the conversation resonated with them, then that makes me truly happy inside.
Right. And if this resonated with you, and you want to see more of us, we're on Facebook. Growth Catalyst LLC is our page. And so you could start there. And here we are on YouTube.
Yeah, and
So
subscribe to the channel. Tell people about us. We're going to be having a lot more conversations like this, but we're going to start including a lot of guests. So we have a lot of
mm,
really awesome conversations coming up soon with some different people on a lot of different topics that I feel like everyone's going to enjoy.
yeah, we're really excited about this, and these guests are dynamic. So we hope you tune in for those episodes to come too.
All right, it was live, and until next time, bye.
Bye.